Good day, welcome back to my channel. Getting into the next episode of the Hawk build, I'm going to walk through the majority of building out the main assemblies. Now, one of the things we find out, let me rephrase, one of the things that I find out is the Hawk has to be put together and painted in stages. But I kind of talk my way through that. And, you know, I can just sit here and waffle about it and tell you what you're going to see, or we can just go see it. So let's crank it. So just pointing out this one here. This is actually really cool. I do not know why they don't do these with the other, like with the Eagles, but the RCTs, the nozzles are actually on the sprue and are hollow, right? So they go in and they have a hole. You can see it there. And that hole matches up to the attachment point here on the piece and just pops in, and then you've got a really nice, you know, your RCTs look actually really nice. So I don't know why they don't do that on the other ones, but you can see where's the other sprue that has these bad boys. Yeah, there we go. Right, so you can see them. Just a little bit of cleanup, do the cleanup on the sprue, and then just drop them on. So that's kind of nice. These are your clear parts, and they go in. Now, because I'm intentionally not doing the interior, I went ahead and sprayed them black on the inside, on the back side. I don't know if I can just get my thing to focus. There we go. There we go. I'll undo it. Here we are. So I sprayed them black on the back side, so that when it goes on the front, it's, you know, clear. And if I was doing an interior, which you can get, that would have been really, you know, the clear is really nice to use for that. But, you know, I'm not going there. All right, moving on. And so after putting these together, I'm going to, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint them separately, just because those tips being orange, it's easier to probably do that and then glue them on than it is to worry about the masking and stuff. But a couple things I did differently. So the nozzles here for the back, I did this piece and this piece. I haven't put that piece in, and I'm not sure I'm going to. I'm reaching for it. Here we go. So this piece goes in, and it drops in there, and it looks like that. Okay. Or I can have it look like that and just fill that hole there. I'm really not sure which I like better. I'm kind of not sure that I like this, but we'll make a determination on how I want to go with that. The other thing is, this part is steel. This part is the same color as the flat color here, or the base color here. So what I did is I put this on, left this off, so that way I can paint that separately, kind of like what I'm planning to do here. I did mark them, so right side, this one's the left, so I know which one's which. They do have like those notches there, and if you put them on wrong, that will, because that would be backwards, right? Because this would be facing in toward the thing, so it would be backwards. So it does matter, and it was just easier to mark them. So that's where I am with those. You know, I've mentioned I did the bit for the landing gear. Other thing, I've put those together. These will go on after this painting, because again, there's an orange stripe here, and then these are not. These are white. I think they're white. I have to look at they're white. So again, it's easier to paint first, then glue them on. Here's something I did catch. So putting these together is pretty straightforward. And then I was looking at this. See how these are these have these have steps essentially so that they lock in place. No, they actually don't. These just slot in. In the in the 1/72nd scale, they do that, right? So you do have to put them in before, and slot them on before you drop the top in. The way these are done, when you put these two pieces together, you can glue these in, and then you can just take these and slot them in. And so I'm going to do that. Basically, I'm going to worry about putting this piece together first. Also, as I look at this, there's a fit issue there. There we go. So I'm going to need to fix that before I actually finish gluing this all together. And then once I do that, we'll need to mask. That's what I'm looking for. We'll need to mask the window, and then we can base spray this. But first things first, need to clamp that, then glue it, and then we can move on. But again, just pointing out, that doesn't have to go together that way. And I'm not convinced what am I saying? I'm not convinced. It is easier to go ahead and put this together first, then slide those in. And again, this is very much like the way the 1/72nd scale goes together. It's going to be easier to build this in sections, base paint it, get the base paint colors down, then actually put on the transfers before you put on final details. So again, like the 1/72nd scale, these pieces here, the way the transfers are going to go on this thing, it's actually going to be easier to paint the base assembly and do some of your detailing before you actually get to the putting together of these. So this step, and this step, and this step are going to be easier to do in sections, and then do all of that last when you just kind of tie it all together. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move on because I'm still back here to this way. So I'm going to go ahead and move on and get these done. So just like with the 1/72nd scale, painting has to be done. Let me rephrase. For me, painting has to be done in sections. I know that there are transfers for some of these orange. So like there's some of these stripes. I'm choosing not to use them just because I like the orange better from the paint. So that's how I'm painting them on. I am masking, and I'm also finding something I did discover with the 72nd scale, that masks were difficult, or they didn't work well in certain spots. So I'm also cheating and using liquid mask for some of the hard to get to places, like here, around there. So when this is set, I'll take more of this painter's tape, right? And then I'll just wrap it around so that then I have the whole front where that'll be clean. I'm also going to clean that edge just a bit. There are a couple places on the superstructure on the spine. Let me see here. Apologize for the glare there, but you can see that there's a couple places there. Those are transfers. I will probably hairy brush those because I've got an orange that matches this pretty much. So I'll just do that. But like I said, it's when I found that trying to do this, trying to paint this thing all together was just not going to work when I was doing the smaller one. So as I do this one, I decided I'm just going to go ahead and be smart and do it in sections. I did, so like these tips for the side guns, painted those. These are base painted. The RCTs are base painted. These other discs are the discs for the back here, which are also white. So I went ahead, did the orange on those, and then so I'll go back and put the white on. Like I said, painting these was easier to do this orange while it is off of this. So it's kind of like, you know, doing an aircraft miniature where you've got to paint, then glue, then paint, then glue, and just sort of got to be creative, you know, understand when and where you need to choose to paint. Again, I'm doing the one that has the orange on it, which means there's, you know, that level of detail I need to pay attention to. If I had gone with the just straight white and black, I wouldn't have had to worry about it, but I like the orange. Also, I still have to put this, this assembly together so I can paint it. I was kind of flirting with the idea of painting it and then gluing it, but, you know, that's not going to work with the scene. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done, then go on and get to painting, and then there'll be, you know, I'll get the base paint done, then there'll be another layer of gluing to do. All right, moving on to step 13, where we're putting together the main motor. Just want to call out, and I saw this on the little ones too, but I didn't pull it up. The attachment points here, basically where you have them, you can see how they're designed to be like at the edge of the engine bell. So what I found the best way to handle that would be to clip them off away from it. I'm trying to do it on camera. And then clean them up that way, rather than trying to snip them while you're removing them from the I'm just being blind here. Rather than trying to snip them off to get it clear, it's easier to kind of go, yeah, you can see I dug into that. God darn it. There's got to be a better way to do this. So I'll figure out, to think what I had done, is that. I snip it like that, then snip it like that, and then go back with the knife and clean them off. So it's a little bit, see, so what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have a lot of cleanup on this just because of the way that is. I can go back here and I can clean that off with a knife and a sanding stick. So I'm gonna have to fix the gouge I just made there. So, all right, just wanted to call that out so that you guys don't make the same mistake I just did. All right, so the base color blocking is done. I have that in on the majority of the big parts. I did actually take some pieces apart. So like I took these back end pieces off just because it was easier to do. And I've jumped around a bit, right? So we did that. I skipped this. I've skipped this. I put this together and I've given it a base color. What I need yet to do now is hit this with the metallic paint, just like I need to do with these little guys. I'm going to paint this one in lead belcher. So I'm actually going to do it in a color different than the metallic. Let me rephrase. Different than the AK pure metal, the AK real metal. I'm going to do this in a metallic lead belcher just because I want it to look different. Skip this part. Obviously, I haven't put that together yet either. I put these two on, like these two pieces on, so I could start figuring out the landing gear. But basically, I need to paint these guys, which is essentially getting these are the thrusters for underneath. So I need to paint those, and I do want to hit those with AK Real Metal. Easier to do them off than on. And then once I've done this part, so once I've pretty much gotten these pieces put onto here, then it's time to do the transfers. Once I've done the transfers, then I can move on to doing the rest of this. So I'm going to pretty much end this video here to where we are. What this has done is this piece here has given me what I need to drop this guy right here. What am I thinking? Here we go. So to drop that guy in there, and then I have the other one, or the other one. I have this piece, which gets glued onto here, like this, and those drop in there, and that locks that all into place. Before I actually glue this in, I'm going to go ahead and paint the stripes that are on this. And I called those out earlier. So I'm going to paint those on, then put these in. Once I have this on, once I have these pieces on, then I can figure out exactly the height of the landing gear. I believe I have that figured out. So what I've done is I've trimmed these so that they will go in and look, essentially like that, making that front so that's approximately the same size. So now they look better to my eye. So we'll have that drop down pretty much like that. And that has that sort of straight look that the Space 1999 type builds have. I'm not overly enthusiastic about the height of these, right? I mean, I think that's sitting up a little bit higher than I want. So when I get this put in, I mean, I see that sitting there. I think what I might want to do is just literally whack that off there, which will drop it down to about there. And that's what I need to figure out yet. But I don't want to do that until I can get these done, or until I can get these pieces put on. So I need to do the steps to get to that point before I can figure those, which will be the next video. So until next time, I hope this has been useful, or at least somewhat entertaining. And you've seen some of the things that I've tripped over, because I'm good at tripping over things. And please, if anybody has any suggestions, hints, queries, whatever, put them down below. I always try to respond. Until next time, happy modeling.